Transmitting live from the Asylum Studios, deep in the bowels of Southwest Texas. It's the Joe Rooz Show. The show where we talk about anything and everything. Where nothing is sacred, nothing is watered down, and nothing is PC.
All right. Hey, folks, this is Joe Rooz. It is 12:05 hours on Saturday, the 13th of September, 2025. And it is great to be with you guys once again from the pimple on the backside of Texas, the beautiful city of Eagle Pass. And we are doing the very best that we can to bring you the best quality talk radio we can muster without all the bluster. Welcome to the Joe Rooz Show. All right, folks, we got a treat in store for us and ourselves today. We don't normally do 12 o'clock shows on a Saturday. We don't normally do shows on a Saturday period. But we have waiting in the wings Barry Luijbregts from podhome.fm fame. And we're going to bring him on here momentarily. We just have a little bit of housekeeping things we normally do. So we're going to get into that right now. This way we could get him on here. All right. So hope you guys had a great week. I hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. And again, thank you so much for being here with us on this Saturday afternoon. A lot of stuff going on in the world, a lot of things that we could be talking about, but you know what? Sometimes you need a break from all that stuff. You need to sit down and just have a conversation. You know, I love talking politics. I love talking all that stuff, and with everything that's been going on over the last week, it kind of wears you down a little bit, and you need to switch gears. You need to do something a little bit different. So that's why having Barry on today is going to be a real treat for us, and just a great change of pace for everything else. Barry has amazing energy. He's just a really cool guy, and I think you're really going to like him. And on top of that, Barry actually was the first guest we've ever had on this show when it started way back last November. He was the first guest, actually the first show we did. So this is great. And again, Barry's a good guy, and you're gonna love him. And I hope you guys caught the show yesterday with Christopher Baum from Vote Right. And I will confess, he caught me flat-footed yesterday with some information that he threw out there, and shame on me for not being better prepared for the show. But I think the information that he presented was fantastic. It's worth looking into. I'm still a skeptic on what he's putting out there. I still think that paper ballots are the best way to go. but he made a compelling argument for electronic systems, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to do some more investigation on what his company's all about and what his software is all about, and we'll have him back on again, and we'll talk about it some more. But hope you guys were able to check that out. It was a lot of fun talking to him. It's nice to talk to a fellow Northeasterner, as they say, a Yankee. I hate that term, but that's really what it is. All right. Enough said on that. Let's get to the housekeeping stuff. All right, folks, head over to the website, joerooz.com. It should be up there on your screen. joerooz.com. When you get over there, make sure you open up the contact section and send us over a message. Let us know whatever's on your heart, whatever's on your mind, any questions, comments, cares, concerns, any issues, any suggestions for guests, topics, or anything that you'd like to talk about. We're always open for it. So please let us know. Drop that note in the contact form or email it to us, info@joerooz.com, or you can drop it right down there in the comment section. And we'd be happy to entertain your suggestions. All right. Also, don't forget, this is a value for value show. So all we're asking is that if you're receiving anything of value from what we're putting out, we're asking that you return that value to us in the form of a donation, which could be your time, your talent, or your treasure. And we're always appreciative of everything that we get. We're thankful to our producer team that helps us out by donating their time, talent, and treasure. And you can get involved in that too, which we'll talk about at the end of the show, like we always do when we give our shout outs to our producing team. All right. With all of that said, let's head over to Ezra Healing. Now, Ezra Healing is a substantial part of the new wellness paradigm currently being born in North America and around the globe. Global citizenry are no longer satisfied with the sick care version of so-called healthcare. Band-aid medicine, endlessly treating symptoms rather than root causes, must be abandoned as soon as possible. Patient-centric care must be the priority. We need to transition towards the do no harm model of private care that places humanity at the forefront of real health and wellness care. In this new model, your entire lifestyle is examined and analyzed to promote and support the totality of your body's integrated systems. Ezra Healing is a solutions-based health promotion and disease prevention grassroots movement that is always evolving to best serve you and your family. For more information about Ezra Healing, just head over to their website up there on the screen, EzraHealing.com. That's EzraHealing.com. And make sure you let them know that you heard about it right here on the Joe Rooz Show. All right. Now, without any further ado, Barry Luijbregts is the host of About Podcasting, a must-listen podcast on podhome.fm, the most modern podcast hosting platform in the business, which, by the way, is one of our first sponsors, and of which Barry is the proud owner, CEO, head tech guy. Every little thing you can possibly imagine runs through Barry. With over 100 episodes as of September 2024, Barry dives into the art of podcasting, interviewing podcasters and musicians to uncover the why behind their storytelling, educational, and entertaining audio journeys. He views podcasts as a powerful audio-only medium that taps into primal human connection to narrative, perfect for learning, inspiration, and entertainment, especially while multitasking. Beyond podcasting, Barry is an accomplished independent software developer and architect, specializing in Microsoft Azure and holding the prestigious Microsoft Azure MVP Award. He's also the voice behind the Improving Barry platform, where he explored health and wellness and previously hosted the Developer Weekly podcast before focusing on Azure, tech consulting, and personal growth. Barry is also the author of 200 Things Developers Should Know, available on Amazon as a paperback, ebook, and audiobook. Known for his commitment to consistency, quality, he uses tools like Riverside, Squadcast, Descript to craft top-notch audio experiences. Barry, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me, Joe.
I did my homework this time.
How did you get that? How did you get that bio?
Oh, I have my ways.
I have my
Was
ways. It AI?
Partially, some of it.
Some
of it I knew already. Some of it I knew already.
Yeah.
I just plugged it all in there and said, all right, let's see what you can give me here. So, so they helped out a little bit, for sure. Well, a lot has changed since episode number 1. Totally different setup in here. So it's
doing great, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And
164 is this one, right?
This is episode 164, sir.
That is crazy.
from November, from last November. We were talking before the show, and I was telling Barry that we had signed up on these two platforms to help us with obtaining guests for the show, and good grief, we did that, and all of a sudden, I think from the end of June when we first started with it, as far as like using those booking services for guests, from the end of June all the way through up until the end of September, we are booked every single day with at least one guest. And some days we have two, some days we have three. So it's interesting. It's a very interesting experience. I love it because, honestly, through this medium, podcasting, because even though we do videos, I still consider this podcasting. I still we still have the audio stream going, which is actually doing better than the video stream. Well, yeah, that's great. Well, and it makes sense too, because, not everybody can sit there and watch a long form 2-hour talk show.
Yeah, exactly.
So people can listen in the car, they can listen while they're running, they're walking, whatever they're doing, not necessarily sitting down in front of a screen for 2 hours, watching it. So I think the audio side is always going to do great. But yeah, so much has changed, my friend, much has changed. So what's going on with you? I have a bunch of questions for you. I am prepared today.
Oh, there's a lot. So for those that don't know me, so I run podhome.fm, so that is podhome.fm, and that is a podcast hosting platform. Like, for instance, podcast that you're listening to right now, we host, and that means that we that Joe can upload the episode, goes automatically actually in this case, and then it gets distributed to all the podcast apps like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the modern podcast apps, including the Podhome app, because we also have a player app.
Which is a great app, by the way.
Yeah, thanks. Took a lot of work. Creating an app is just it's the devil's work. It's just horrible. It's so much work. And it's just so finicky with all these platforms, right? Like Apple is different from Android, and all of the store rules. It's just very, very difficult.
Yeah, I would imagine.
So yeah, we do that, and we host all sorts of podcasts. People that talk about writing, from Joe's podcast to Bitcoin podcasts to privacy, all sorts of things, and also disenfranchised people that get kicked out of other podcast hosting platforms. They are very, very welcome to host their podcast on our platform. Obviously, we are not censorship resistant. Nothing is, but we do our best to not censor. They're very welcome to do that. And now that we have the Podhome app, which is a podcast player app, we own the whole chain. So you can upload your podcast.
Awesome.
It gets distributed, and people can listen through that app as well. So that means that we're a little bit more censorship resistant. Like I said, nothing is absolutely censorship resistant, because, if people come to my door here, I got no choice. But yeah, it's nice. It's nice to own the whole chain. Yeah, it's good.
But that's great, and the platform is great. And on every show, I do a short read for it, for Podhome. And one of the things that I always tell everybody is that for everything that you get with Podhome, you would be paying double to up to triple on some of the bigger, more well-known platforms that are out there, and you get less than what Podhome offers. So it's a great app to be on. It's a great platform to be on. I came over about 2 years ago or 3 years ago, something like that. And it's been fantastic. Really no problems. You get little glitches here or there. That's normal. But usually it's very, very quickly resolved, and just the quality of it is great. The AI is fantastic. It really does generate fantastic show notes. I mean, very rare do I have to edit the show notes down, other than typos, but making little changes here, because for some reason the AI always changes my last name, and it changes
it's bad at that
in 2 different ways. Because the name I use for the show is Rooz, R-O-O-Z. Yeah. So the AI changes it to R-U-G-E, Rouge.
Okay, yeah.
And then there's another one too. It makes me Japanese. It changes my last name from Rooz to Ryo. So
Okay.
so it's like, well, eventually it'll learn. Hopefully it'll pick up on the changes. But
Yeah. It's not really self-learning in that way, but yeah. So that's kind of the mission, right? So it costs $15.99 a month,
right,
and then you get unlimited podcasting. So our mission is to build in as many tools that podcasters need to just get their podcast out there, right? So that is hosting, that is, like you said, help with creating metadata, like show notes, chapters, transcripts. That's what we call Pod Home AI. You just flip a switch, you say, generate all that stuff for me. And then it does that, and that's included within the $15.99. You can go live, for instance, which we're doing right now, which is also included in the $15.99.
right.
And so we try to build those useful things that people need, and so that you don't have to go to another platform to also do that and to pay another, I don't know, $5.99 to do that. You can create clips, for instance, to promote your stuff, all that type of stuff, which are also different and separate apps. It's also, for ourselves, because this is like a developer built thing where, I want to make my life as easy as possible when creating a podcast. And so, that translates into a product that other people can also use. That is useful. And on the Pod Home AI, it is useful, but it will become more useful because we're about to roll out a bit smarter of an agent in the backend that will then also pick up all the things you talk about within a podcast. So, for instance, we've spoken about a lot of things already. It will look those things up. It will put a link in those in the show notes. Can be a news article, can be your social media profile, whatever. We make it double check that it actually exists.
Okay.
Because it can dream up some stuff.
Okay.
And then you get a very useful list of things you actually talked about. So you don't have to, go back and search for all that stuff, which is very useful.
Yeah, it is. And it's like, there are reviews on Pod Home. You see it. A number of people say it. I say it a lot too. It really is like having a whole team working with you to get the podcast published, to get it sent out. And it's a great platform, and it's so smooth. And also switching over to Pod Home was seamless. It was no issues whatsoever with that. It was great. And I know that there's so many more things in the works. You've told me other projects and stuff that you've been looking to work into. And so I'm excited to see what direction Pod Home is going to be going in the future. And I think rolling out the app was fantastic. My only suggestion, well, not suggestion, my only, and I probably told you this already. Is there a way that if you are a user of podhome.fm to publish your podcast, that you could get into that your account through the app, the player app?
No.
Well, no, there isn't.
Completely separate things. Yeah.
So it wouldn't be able to do that.
But why do you want to?
Oh, just make it easier.
Yeah, like, do you want to? In the Pod Home Player app, there's a premium features, a couple. Is that your question? Like, do I also get premium because I'm already a Pod Home subscriber?
Well, no, that's a good question though, because I hadn't thought of that one. But no, I mean, like, as far as I'm a content creator, so I want to get into my Pod Home account to check my stats, or if after I upload audio, maybe if I'm recording it on my phone or something, I can upload it and do all the editing and stuff through the app. You know what I'm saying? So something like that.
Yeah, no. So the app is really separate completely from the hosting platform. Many apps do that. They let you claim your podcast, and then you can change some things, for instance, that get inserted into the feed, for instance, or Spotify for podcasters, previously known as Anchor. They used to have an app as well. I don't know if they still do. Or you can just, you press a button, you start recording, and poof, you have your episode, and it goes up into Spotify.
Right. They do.
That is nice.
It's not through Anchor anymore. Obviously, it's through Spotify. Yeah. It's Spotify for creators.
Yeah, that's
right. Yes, a little purple app now.
Yeah. That is nice. So we are looking at a feature for some rudimentary recording stuff. Mm-hmm. So we're kind of already doing it right now, right? So we are right now live within Pod Home. We have our own streaming server. That's all included in the price, of course. And so when Joe ends this show and he says, all right, I've ended live. Then we take the audio and we put that into the show. So we're right now we're already recording. So we have that basic infrastructure. Wouldn't it be just lovely if you could just ditch StreamYard and just, record straight into Podhome or use an app or do something like that? That would be nice. And that's another tool that you then don't use anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's a difficult problem to solve, to make it reliable. But we're thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm sure platforms like StreamYard and Rumble Studio and all that stuff, all these studios are monsters to put together and to maintain and to keep upgrading and updating. I'm sure that it is. But if that's something you guys can work on, that'd be awesome. And that kind of leads into what I was going to ask you about audio only podcasts.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that audio only is still the way to go, or do you think that video casts are going to slowly kind of fade out, or do you think they're going to become two separate entities altogether?
To me, they are two separate things because they are two separate use cases. So when you watch a video, you kind of have to sit down and watch the video, or you're sitting in a train or whatever. You're not doing anything else. You're watching the video. You're not driving. I hope not, at least. Some people do. Yeah, please stop. Put the phone down. Don't do that. That's super dangerous. But that's a focused activity, right? And listening to a podcast, you can also listen to a video, but just listening to the audio is a completely different experience. You do that divorced from what you're actually doing. You might be walking around. You might be cleaning your house. You might be driving. You might be flying an airplane. I don't know. You can do all sorts of things. So those are two very different use cases. Now, I'm not saying that video is not a podcast. It's not the definition of a podcast, what we're doing right here on Rumble, for instance. That can be a podcast, sure. But that is not something that we support from Podhome, because that's a very different use case, requires very different infrastructure, different cost structure as well. And it also is built for a very different audience. Mm-hmm. Now, you have a lovely camera and you know how to do this. Most people do not have a lovely camera, nor lighting.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, you're doing great, but it's a very different thing doing video than just audio. Most people do not do that. Most people are not technical enough, or just don't want to do it, or simply do not have the face for a video. Also happens.
True.
Not a bad thing, but it's just a thing, And not everybody wants to see your video.
That's true.
So there are many things. So less people will do video and are able to create suitable video that is actually fun to watch as well, because it has to be engaging. We're not creating YouTube content where the screen changes every 2 seconds, for instance. That is engaging and interesting. It's very different with this. So we choose to focus as a business on the audio part, because that's something we know we can do well, and we know that we can support it with our price, and that we can keep our price as such for, yes, unlimited podcasting. I don't think I mentioned that, but that means you can have as many podcasts and episodes for that $15.99. And some people really go for it. They have like 20 shows and all sorts of episodes. They go nuts. And that's fine, because that fits within the $15.99 audio only.
Right.
Because that works for us.
Yeah, I don't know.
So that's why we choose for that.
I don't know how people do more than one show. I don't.
Well, there's a lot of AI generated stuff.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
I'm sure there is. So then you don't think that you need to do video in order to be a successful podcaster?
No, it's a completely different thing. You need to do video if you want to do a successful video show.
Mm-hmm. I got you.
Or not per se for a podcast. You can call it a podcast if you want, but it's not necessary for a podcaster. And I know, you hear differently on all the platforms, and within the world of podcasting, it's a very hot topic as well to do video. But not everybody will sit down to watch your video as well. It's not only the people that produce the video, there's not a lot of them that can do it well, but there's also not a lot of people that will actually watch your video. There's so much video content out there, and most is way more engaging than two guys or just one guy talking.
True that.
For a video, that's not very entertaining.
Yeah, I watch a lot of vidcasts. That's what generally I call them. So I watch a lot of vidcasts, and I'm really impressed with the quality of the shows that these people are putting out. They have they have the lower thirds, they have the chyrons, they have the graphics, they have all that stuff going on. And I'm just one guy.
That's
here.
a lot of work and budget, and you need people, studio, lighting, all that type of stuff.
Yeah,
That's just for a handful of people.
My goal is one day to have my own media empire and completely rule the world here. But it's a challenge for sure. And having the right equipment, and it's not cheap. It's not. This is something I think I mentioned to you before. We had Dave Jackson from the School of Podcasting on the show about a week ago, and we were talking about the cost of a lot of these things. Now, if you're doing a podcast, you don't necessarily need to have you're using a Shure SM7.
Yeah.
All right. So that's
you don't need that. That's overkill.
Yeah. That's like a $300 mic. All right. Yeah. The one that I'm using here is a Rode Procaster. This thing's almost $400. You don't really need
that
really stuff. Don't. There's really not much difference between a $40 microphone and a $200 microphone.
No, but we have these things because we're very geeky and we love the
yes, exactly. That's why I have a pile right across from me. I have my Procaster, my pod mic. I got my Shure. I got my my SM7, my what is the MV7? I got two of those. Oh, yeah. I got all that stuff sitting over there. It's a lot of money, but you don't need all that stuff. But if you're going to do a video show, then you need to have some quality. You don't want to sit there looking like you're talking to an iPhone 3 quality video or iPhone 4 quality video. That's part of the reason why I switched over to StreamYard instead of using the Rumble Studio. Rumble Studio is great. It has a lot of potential, has a lot of features that even StreamYard doesn't have, but it's just not stable. And I know it's a work in progress, and they're getting there. I was doing a show with a gentleman from Washington State who's running for Congress, and we were in the middle of conversation. I was on the Rumble Studio, and the thing crashed.
Oh, wow.
But it only crashed on my end.
Oh, okay.
It stayed connected on his, and so I just disappeared from the feed, and he was still going on talking, and I didn't even know he was still connected. The audio was still running, so I was watching what I was saying. I wasn't cursing and throwing things all around the place, but I was trying to tell him. So listen, I can't get reconnected. We'll just we'll start again, because I figured I can just go into the audio and edit that moment out and put it back together again. But he was connected the whole time, and he didn't even know I was gone. Well, that's crazy.
But these are difficult technology problems to solve.
Yeah. They are.
This stuff that we're doing right here. But I was just thinking, like you said, you asked, do you need video to be a successful podcaster? So I think no, but perhaps what people get mixed up is, to be able to discover your show, you can use clips, right? Mm-hmm. And clips for social media, for TikTok, for X, for Instagram, or what have you. Those are visual things, usually. So if you have a video thing and you have an interesting clip there, then you can create viral moments, and then you can really create discovery. So for that part, you can use that. That's true. You can use it for people to surface your podcast.
Right, but then the only, well, not the only, but one of the downsides to that is then people are expecting to see a video podcast, and they're only getting the audio, and then they might lose interest. You might garner some follows and plays, but if somebody sees a video, they're expecting to see a video all the time.
Yeah, but it is, you are where the people are, and unfortunately they spend a lot of time just looking at their phone.
True that.
At those apps. So
very true.
In the podcast player app, in one of the premium features, I'm showing it now on the screen, there's a thing called episode shuffle, and that is kind of exactly this. When you click on that, it just loads.
You have one shark doing
a random episode, and you can just swipe through the episodes like you swipe through Instagram, and then you just
Three Floyds.
You just get.
That's pretty neat. I haven't played with that feature. I got to play with that a little bit.
Yeah, and then you just get, you get to discover all sorts of stuff. And it's not ranked on an algorithm for popularity or anything like that. It's just random stuff, and that's fun because there's
I'm going to load
so
up my
much stuff.
methylene blue while you're talking.
Okay,
We were
because there's
talking
so
about
much stuff, right? There's so many podcasts that people create. Joe is creating a concoction there. Oh God.
my methylene blue.
And you can filter here also on language, like also only Dutch or US English, and give me something from the comedy category or something like that. So the Pod Home app, there we try to in this widget and also in other features to just surface random stuff so that you just get exposed to all sorts of stuff that you usually wouldn't hear ever.
Right. It's a great app though, and I do have to play around with some more of the features. There's only so much time in the day.
Yeah.
But it is a great app. And just getting back to the tech stuff, it's when I started doing the video stuff, and you know this, I told you this, I was very reluctant and very hesitant to do it, and it wasn't something that I really enjoyed doing.
Yeah.
And because I have, like most people, I have like little quirky things, tics and stuff like that. Like I have somebody who watches the show who texts me all the time. Stop chewing the inside of your mouth. I do, because I play with my, I do that, and
Okay.
but it's like, I don't know if it's a nervous tick or if it's just that it's just a tick.
It's something you do.
Yeah. So, but see, when you're doing audio, you can't see that, And if a screen goes out and I'm reading notes or something like that, you're not seeing me going like this as I'm speaking.
Yeah.
So
have you seen a lot of traction with it?
With video?
Yeah.
It's actually improving. It's getting better. At this point last month, I only had like barely 100 followers on the channel. And as of this morning, when I logged in, I had 270. So it's growing. It's growing. Yeah. And I'm also getting a lot of traction with the guests, because the quality of guest has been improving. All the guests are great, and when I say quality, I'm talking about like high profile people, like,
the audience that they bring.
Yeah. And it's like for example, I interviewed recently Peter Tickton, who's a constitutional attorney who is representing Tina Peters, who is the 70-year-old woman in Colorado who's been locked up, was sentenced for 9 years in jail for doing her job as an election official and turning over the documents that she was required to. And the previous administration prosecuted her and put her in jail for 9 years. So he represents her, and he's spoken at several popular events, like with General Mike Flynn and folks like Steve Bannon and folks like that. So so that type, it's been getting more and more of that. I interviewed a couple of congressional candidates. I interviewed a Nobel Peace Prize nominee. So it's been great. It's an amazing thing, podcasting, whether it's video or audio. It's an amazing thing because you get to meet people that you never thought you would get an opportunity to ever meet. I've met every person that has come across this show has left something with me that I take with me. I have learned so much from the interactions that I've had with folks, and I hope the audience has too. And that's the reason why we book them, because we want to bring something different. I could sit here, we could talk politics all day long. And, after a while, it kind of wears you down, it beats you down. You need to have a change of pace. And I think bringing in the type of guests that we have, look, we've done, like I said, Nobel Peace Prize nominees, paranormal investigators, doctors, lawyers, theologians, tech, crypto. We do actually, I don't know if you know, we do a regular every 2 weeks. The next show we're doing is on the 20th, I think, the 20th, next Saturday. We have a resident crypto psychic who does a show with us. She comes on every 2 weeks. and it's great. You know, it brings a nice audience, and we have a good conversation. And what she does, to me, it's very unique. I mean, she uses tarot cards to make crypto predictions, and so far everything that she's been talking about has been freaking spot on.
Oh, I need to pay attention to this.
so it's really good, and like she's very big on Algorand, XRP, and there was another one. Was it Solana? I think it was Solana, maybe.
Okay,
I'm not sure about that.
Spidey senses are tingling. Yeah.
I'm not sure about that one, but those two are the ones that she's really like she had spent a lot of time working on, you know, and studying for. And so far, you know, I've taken some of her advice, and I've invested in some of these things, and you know, I'm not complaining. You know, I don't throw a lot of money. I don't have a lot of money to throw at it, but you know, I make a little bit here, a little bit there. It's good. You know, she's good, and she's, like I said, she's spot on. So that's a thing that I never thought I'd be sitting here with a person reading tarot cards, picking cryptos, but it's a lot of fun. I've learned a lot, you know, doing stuff like this with you. And then of course on Tuesdays we have the CEO of Ezra Healing, one of our sponsors, who comes on and does a show just specifically about the do no harm model of private healthcare. You know, we garner some suggestions most of the time from the audience. What do you want to hear about? What do you want to talk about? And then we do the prep for that, and we do a show together with that one. I've learned an incredible amount.
Yeah, and it's amazing how receptive and generous people are. Like I had the same with when I did the Developer Weekly podcast and also the Improving Barry podcast. The latter is about health as well, where I would just, you know, I would shoot an email to like a hero of mine in the tech world, and I would think, you know, I would never hear from this guy again. He would never do this in a million years. He doesn't know me. Yeah, sure, I will come on to the show, sure. And everybody does. Yeah, because why not? So it's such a connecting mechanism. It's amazing.
Absolutely. I'm still waiting to get Adam Curry on the show, but that's gonna be a tough one. The Podfather.
He's busy. Yeah.
I know.
I'm sure he will.
And they've got how long has their show been running? It's been running for a while. No Agenda.
Which one? No Agenda. Ooh, 17 years, something like that.
Yeah, it's been a long. They've had a long run. Great show. I love how they do it. I love the work they do on it. It's amazing. And you wouldn't know. See, that's how good technology is now, especially with the audio. You wouldn't know if they didn't tell you that John Dvorak is on the West Coast. He's in California, and Adam Curry's down here in Austin. It sounds like they're sitting in the same room with each other, which is great. This is technology. It's fantastic. And they use a very basic service from what I understand. I don't even think it's anything crazy. Was it Clean Feed or Clear Feed?
Yeah, they use Clean Feed, and that's just audio only. They don't even see each other.
Yeah. So it's wild. It's wild. It works. It's good stuff. And then, so it's podcasting. So let's talk about your podcasts. So you've done a few podcasts, the three that we mentioned already. When are you going to get back into doing shows?
Oh man. Well, I'm not as prolific as you, obviously. It's difficult to maintain a podcast. All the podcasts that I had were also guest driven. So I did interviews with other people, and I found it very difficult to find guests on a regular basis. So usually I did once a week something. And to get that spot filled with somebody that I really wanted, that was very difficult. So perhaps I should take your advice and use these platforms like Podmatch, for instance.
Yeah, you could. It's really good. And you know, one of the little perks to it too is on the host side of it, you do get some commission for some of the guests that come on. Yeah. So you get a couple of bucks here or there at the end of the month. Not a bad deal. And it's relatively inexpensive. I forget I know the guest side is considerably more to sign up for than the host side. The host side is much less. I'm trying to remember how much it was. I don't remember. But it's a good platform, and the way they do it is, and I had Alex Sanfilippo on the show early on, talking about Podmatch when I first started up with them, and it's kind of like the way we described it was like it's like Tinder for podcasters.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like a dating app. Is really what it is. You plug in all your information, and somebody else plugs in their information. The algorithm puts you together, and you decide if you want to pass or if you want to, swipe left, swipe right. It's basically what it is. And I loved using Podmatch. I still use Podmatch. Like I said, I got to meet so many great people, and it was also good for me to develop my interviewing skills. So because and the frequency of it, and putting the work into it. And honestly, I have a lady. Her name is Angela. We call her Anonymous Angela. And for those of you uninitiated as to why we call her Anonymous Angela is when she first started out helping me out with the show, I on Podhome, you could add people to your show, and they're automatically inserted all their information. So like if you go to the show notes for this show, you'll see Barry's information, you'll see my information, you'll see all my producers listed as well. Well, all that information is I input all of that information way back when, and it just automatically populates that for me when the show notes are generated, when the show's published. So I wanted to put Angela's information in there, and I had already called her out a few times on the show before I started putting her in there. And I said, so I need just a couple of things. I need a headshot and a little bio for you, and I'll put my website, because you're one of my producers, so I'll put my website on there for you, so you don't have to give out your personal stuff. And she was like, well, I don't know if I want to have my name out there. And I was like, okay, well, I've already thrown it out there, so we're just going to call you Anonymous Angela now. Yeah. But she's great. I mean, she donates. She does the value for value model. She donates her time and her talent. So she has access to my calendar. She has access to Podmatch. She has access to the other site I use, Radio Guest List. She has access to all that stuff, and all the emails and stuff come to both of us, and she'll help me do the background on it, and she'll help me put all the stuff together and keep things organized. And it's great. I've come to really depend on every morning getting that email from her. Usually about 6 a.m. I get an email. Okay, so this is who you have today on the show. It's like, that's nice. It's great, and I really appreciate that. And I don't know how she does it. Without giving up too much information. I mean, she has a big family that she takes care of. She's very active politically in her community. She's involved with a political action committee that I'm a member of. Which is how she found how we really connected. Okay. Yeah. And how she manages everything, and then there's another podcast that she helps. I don't know how she does it. I really don't know where she gets the time to do it. I'm frazzled throughout the course of the day because I'm working my regular job, and I'm like, all right, I got the show tonight. I got to think about this. I got to think about that. I got to figure that. I got to put this. I got to build the studio. I got to get all that stuff. And then usually on my lunch hour is when I'll sit down and I'll start sending out the links, the emails, all that stuff to everybody to let them know, okay, so here's the link for the studio tonight. Here's the link to share it tonight. This is what time we start. This is how it works, and so on and so forth. Like I sent you an email, which I modified that one because we know each other. So I modified that heavily, but just that's basically the format that everybody gets. Just some basic instructions, and this is how we do it. And then for a little while there, I wasn't opening up the studio earlier. I'll open it up 30 minutes to 15 minutes before the show, and I'll have everybody, well, if you want to check out to make sure your settings work, jump on in and we'll make sure they work. And the reason why I do that is because I had to do a show one night, and the guest tried to connect at the start of the show, and he couldn't get in. And he was having some kind of a technical problem. The link wasn't working, and so I was delayed almost 20 minutes. Yeah, you don't want to do that, right? Because I was on the phone with him and his people trying to figure out what the problem was. So 30 minutes, 15 minutes before the show, check in with me. Let's make sure everything's working good, and then once we got that done, we'll get started at showtime. And so far, so good. It's been working. But you learn on the go. You learn on the go, and the same thing with the audio, with just the audio side of it. You learn as you go. You know, you are a tremendous resource for me. I mean, how many times have I text you after a show and said, "Sid, I'm done. I'm throwing this thing out the window. I'm not doing this anymore." Right?
Yeah.
How many times?
Yeah, but you've tweaked your whole audio process and your studio and all the settings and stuff, and now it's just sounds great.
Thank you. It's a lot of work, though. You know, people like we were talking with Dave Jackson about this. You know, people seem to think that podcasting, all it is sitting down in front of a microphone and talking. It's not what it is. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, yeah, and also to make the audio sound good. For instance, to listeners now with headphones on, you can hear that I am in an echoey room, which is true. Even though I have a good mic and all that type of stuff, this room is untreated. Mm-hmm. Which is really not my style usually, but that is how it is.
Especially since when I introduced you, I said you're big on quality and
exactly, yeah. So I also created many online courses, and then I really need to make sure it's all very much on par and that's super high quality. And then sometimes I just sat in the closet with lots of pillows everywhere. That works too if you just need to record something. Yeah.
Before I had a studio, I did that too. I had a little table. I had my computer, a little table, a microphone, and I would sit in the closet. I would close the door, have all the clothes and everything all around you.
Works perfect.
It's great. The room that I'm in right now is a treated room. I have acoustic foam ceiling, walls everywhere. Yeah. And I put up the flags just to cover it all, but that's basically
yeah.
It's all treated, but even so, the problem is that the ventilation in here is horrible. Like there's just no air in here whatsoever. So I live in the desert, and it's hot, and like even right now, as we're talking, I have an AC unit running, and it's on a low setting, but like you may not be able to hear it too much this way, but like you said, with earbuds, you'll hear that hum in the background. Yeah. But you see, if I don't have that on, this room gets ridiculously hot. And even with the AC running right now, I have a clock up on the wall there that tells me the temperature in the room. And even with that running, and I have a fan here, and I have a fan over my head, it is 84 degrees in here.
I'm just translating that in real money. Because 84 degrees Celsius, I would be dead.
Yeah, no, 84 Fahrenheit.
Oh, Jesus. Really? That is 32 degrees, something like that. Is that right?
In Celsius? I have no idea.
Hot. It's hot.
It's hot. The only metric that I concern myself with is for the rounds for my pistol. That's it. My 9mm. So that's all I worry about. But so it gets hot in here. So you got it's not easy to do this stuff. You struggle.
But I do want to get back into it. So the one that I loved the most was Improving Barry, because that was about health.
That was the first podcast of yours that I heard, was the Improving Barry.
Yeah, so health and wellness, I used to call it. I'm just very curious about it. I've been learning about health and human body and how it works for now decades now, and the reason is simple, because when I grew up, I was in pain the whole time because basically I was drinking milk and I was lactose intolerant, and nobody told me.
Nice.
The doctor didn't care. They just said, you know what, you just have irritable bowel syndrome. Just take it easy. Stupid.
I know. That's crazy.
But that kind of, it's good, because that woke me up. I'm like, all right, these guys are no good. You know, the whole system is just it's unreliable. They don't know anything, apparently, or they don't care to know anything. I don't know.
I agree.
And then you go down the rabbit hole, and then you find out, these guys don't even learn about food or nutrition. Nothing. And so, through the Improving Barry podcast, I also spoke to many, lots of doctors and people that kind of woke up to how corrupt the system is, and that it, like you said in the intro here, it's mostly just sick care and not actually health care. Right? So what happens also in my country, in the Netherlands, but also in your country and most countries I can imagine, is that they just, treat symptoms, make money, never look at the root cause, never ask, what are you actually eating, for instance? Do you exercise? Do you sleep? How are you sleeping? All the first things that a vet asks when
Yes.
when you take your dog there, what do you feed this?
That is a great
dog?
observation, man. That's fantastic.
No doctor actually ever asks you what you eat, which is fantastic.
And even in medical schools, and I learned this with Svetlana Rolkov, the CEO from Ezra Healing, on the show that we do, that even in medical school, they don't really even teach nutrition.
No, they get a couple of hours of a curriculum.
Yeah,
that's it.
Which is crazy. Like I've mentioned this before, so I don't know if you've heard it yet or not, but I have weaned myself off of all the prescription medications that I've been on. I take no prescription medications now. So I don't take, I came off my blood pressure medication. I was on 2 of those. I was on Celebrex for like nerve pain and arthritis and all that nonsense. And then I got, then of course, I was on antidepressants for a while, because of all the other stuff that was going on. And just so many different medications. I can go down the list. Actually, I have to put the list together because she wants to talk about that on the show next Tuesday. So, I was on all these medications, and one day I just got up and I was like, you know what? There's got to be a better way. Because I started questioning it, saying, well, you know what? This medication is supposed to take care of this problem, but yet it has all of these side effects to it. And then there's a medication to take care of those side effects. It has side effects, and there's the medication to take care of that side effect.
It's ridiculous, yeah.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, plus what's the root cause? Why do you have this problem in the first place?
Right, exactly. So I modified my diet. I started doing supplements as opposed to prescription medication. That's why, nice little lead in, the methylene blue. That's why I've been taking this, because the methylene blue affects everybody a little bit different. All right. Yeah. And if you're interested in checking this out, I have a link on the website to thealexjonesstore.com/Joe, and you get some great deals on these supplements and others that I all take. And I will never tell anybody to try something if I didn't try it myself. And so I take this, I take the Shilajit, and I take the Ultimate Irish Sea Moss, and I take the turmeric. I take all of those additional supplements, and every single one of those things has benefited me tremendously. And there's others too that I take that I'm not even listing. But this stuff, everybody's that takes this experiences a little bit different. I got some stain on my hand. So some people feel like they get this energy, almost like an electrical feeling that courses through the body. Why? Because this stuff works at the mitochondrial level in your body. It works with oxygenation, and the mitochondria are the powerhouse of the cell. So once you get those cleansed and those working properly, man, your energy level is going to increase naturally. Some people say that it helps them with their vision, and some people say that it helps with arthritis pain. Everybody's a little bit different. For me, what this does for me is it helps me stay focused, and it helps me. It puts me into a very relaxed, contemplative, kind of meditative frame of mind, and it gives me an energy that lasts throughout the day. There's no crash to it. It just lasts throughout the day, and I get much. I've been getting much more accomplished, and I've been feeling better psychologically, mentally, however you want to put it, since I've been taking this stuff and not the prescription medications. This has been a godsend for me, and
super.
And I would recommend it. I mean, the great part is, like, next week I have a doctor's appointment, and I cannot wait to give a urine sample. Because the beautiful colors that come out, it's like, we're going.
Why do you have a doctor's appointment? What do you hope to that this guy is going to tell you?
Oh, it's just a well visit, just to satisfy insurance.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I didn't know. You guys need to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got to go. So I'm going to go, and I'm going to, do my check-in, and I'm looking forward to telling him, listen, I took myself off the medications. I'm doing great. I'm fine.
Yeah.
And another thing I learned too, and we were talking about this the other day, was just to show you how crazy the medical profession is. At one point, normal blood pressure was considered to be 140/90. That was normal blood pressure. Okay.
Mhm.
Then the medical hierarchy there decided that, well, we're going to change that. We're going to make it normal blood pressure is going to be 120 over 80. And then now it's even lower than that. I think it's like 118 or 117 something. So what did you just do? You just took millions of people that had 140/90 as normal blood pressure and just made them borderline hypertensive and now in need of medications to get their blood pressure lower.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Instead of modifying diet,
Yeah,
exercise,
definitely. That's
and
definitely.
changing lifestyle, you threw millions of people onto medications that they didn't really need.
Yeah, so that last part definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know if the indication that normal is 120, for instance, is more normal than 140. That might be right. But then the fix to put people on medications obviously is nonsense. Because especially blood pressure is very modifiable through lifestyle changes.
Exactly.
Very, very much so.
Exactly. You know, I've added more activities, so I'll take the dogs out for the walk more often than I had in the past. I'm eating better. I'm making better choices with what I'm eating. I've been exercising more. You know, so I feel great. I do. I really do. And I'm going to do the best I can to make sure it stays that way. I don't want to get back on meds. I don't want to do that again. Because honestly, now that I'm off of it, I actually feel better than I did when I was on them.
Yeah, of course.
So it's
Yeah.
it's the craziest thing because medical care, healthcare has not become a means to solve the problem. Now it's to perpetuate the problem, to keep it going, just so you stay on medications.
Yeah, but I do think that most medical professionals, they mean well. You know, you don't go to medical school because you want to cheat people. It's a lot of work. It takes many, many years. You know, an individual
I know.
doctor, you make that choice probably because you know you want to help people, or you maybe you had an experience or something. You went to the hospital. I don't know, or your dad was a surgeon or something. I don't know, and you want to help people, and then you know quickly over the years you might get you know, you go into the system basically, and then you start to believe certain things, or you just don't know about things, and then you know, you just start to do your work, and your day looks like I have 20 patients. You need to get out of here because in 5 minutes the other guy is there, and I need to, you know, give him his pills.
Revolving
Because,
door medicine.
yeah, you know, and maybe you don't like it anymore, but yeah.
Yeah,
Some people wake up and then they start to do alternative medicine or have their own private practice, for instance. A lot of them do that nowadays, which is also very brave, I think, because you get ousted from the medical community. And they can be dangerous for your career, of course, and to your ego as well. But yeah, it's complicated. There's a lot of gray there as well.
Sure,
so it's not per se an evil industry. Just like, you know, people at Coca-Cola, for instance, most people that work there, they have no idea that they're harming people. No clue.
No, it's just a job.
Yeah, exactly. They're just doing their work, and that's just a side effect of their work, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But I think, yeah, for most people, if you just, you know, eliminate most of your toxic load, which means don't eat poisonous things, fast food, poisonous thing. Try to not smear poisonous things on yourself. So everything that you put on your skin, you cannot eat it. Don't put it on there because your skin absorbs it.
That's right.
That's a good step to do. And then, you know, get proper nutrition. So eat things that actually feed you, actual food that your grandmother would also recognize. And then do some exercise. And it can be super simple. Walk, for instance. Just do walking. Awesome.
Yeah, you then walk. Like what I do is I take the dogs out for the walks. I do some pretty intensive stretching at least twice a week.
Intensive stretching.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like how do I describe it? It's a head to toe routine that you do. It takes about an hour and a half to get through it. A lot of it is based on yoga poses, but it's not yoga itself. It's just stretching of it, using, you know, putting your body in those situations. And it is, man, sometimes I work up a sweat just doing that.
Okay, good.
but it's good because it keeps you loose. It helps with the arthritis, helps your blood flow, and you just feel more relaxed. You sleep better. It's great stuff. You have to make a decision you have to make a decision to live better, to choose better. You don't rely on the medical profession to make you feel better, because they're just not. They're not interested in that.
No, exactly. Yeah.
The pharmaceutical industry makes sure of that. They want to make
you
sure
need to do
get
it
as
yourself.
much money as possible. Exactly. You need to take control of it yourself. And that's the thing with Ezra Healing, with the do no harm model. That's what they promote. And you should check out the show on Tuesday night if you can. It would be great. I'm sure you and Svetlana would be able to exchange some really good ideas. Maybe we could arrange that somehow. Maybe we'll do a special show one day to accommodate your time. I don't know. We'll work something out. But but what you could do, though, if you have questions or anything like that you want to ask or like us to ask, just let me know. Just shoot me an email about it, and I'll make sure we address them on the show. But so we're running up against the clock here. So I have just a couple of things I want to ask before we go. So tell us something about you that most people don't know but should.
Jesus. It should as well. Well, I don't know if anybody should know this. I do I don't know. No, I do. I've been doing high rocks for a while. I don't know if you know what that is. That's a sport, like an endurance type of sport. It's like CrossFit, but then slightly different. I don't know. You shouldn't know that about me, but it might be a fun thing to know. No, I've run a couple of marathons when I was a bit younger. Did a lot of running, played tennis, and then I struggled to find a sport that I enjoyed for longer, right? So I did all sorts of stuff. I did fighting as well, Krav Maga, all that type of stuff. But it didn't stick. And now finally I found high rocks, and that really does it for me. It's like a combination of running and lifting things and functional movements, stuff like that.
That's good.
So, yeah, that's something.
It's good. That's good. I'm interested in doing like a CrossFit thing, and there's a place that's over here, not too far from me, that does it. I want to check them out one day. I just feel like I just want to try to lose just a little bit more weight before I start doing that and get a little bit more loose. So, you know what I mean? So
CrossFit really, you don't need that much. It's more lifting things and doing that correctly without injuring yourselves, like doing deadlifts, stuff like that.
Right.
And not so much flexibility.
Well,
That's
I just feel like since I haven't worked out in so long, that to do all the stretching first and get myself loose enough where I can feel comfortable doing it. I don't pull something.
Yeah.
I am getting older, Barry. I'm going to be 55 this year, dude. So I got it.
Wow, yeah.
So what's your go-to beverage to help you unwind at the end of the day?
Glass of red wine. I like.
Nice. One of the few who say that. Whenever mostly it's water. Lately I've gotten a few Mountain Dews, which I don't know if you guys have Mountain Dew over there.
We don't have that. No, we don't have
that. You're lucky. It's like fluorescent green.
I had a couple once when I was over. Yeah.
Okay.
Very strange sensation. Makes me pee a lot.
Yeah. It's horrible. It's just terrible for you.
Chemical crap. Yeah.
So last question. Who is someone that you respect right now, and what are they doing that inspires you?
Ooh. I think it's my friend Peter. I visited him today. He's a guy that lives in the Netherlands. He keeps working on himself, even though it's difficult for him sometimes. But he just keeps a good perspective about what is important to him. Good. And just, he doesn't just sit down and says, you know what, everything sucks. No, he just says, you know what, this is what I can do. And so he goes and does that. And that is inspiring.
That's great. That's really good. I like that. That's really good. I wish him the best. I hope he finds what it is that he's searching for.
Yeah, me too. It's a difficult thing to do. Everybody should, try that, because there's so much negativity in the world, and we can all watch the negativity on the news and be, oh, everything sucks. Yeah. But, it doesn't really matter, because everything sucks anyways. So let's try and find things that we can do.
I agree. All right. So where can the folks go to find out more about you and what you do?
You go to, it's on the screen here, podhome.fm, so podhome.fm for the podcast hosting. You'll find everything there. And if you're interested in the app, so the podcast player app, you can type in Pod Home, POD Home, in the App Store on iOS and also the Play Store, or go to podhome.fm/app and find everything there.
Outstanding. Barry Luijbregts, thank you. I appreciate you being here today. This is great. I know it's late over there for you, so we're going to let you go. I do have to do my Pod Home read, so I'll do that. I'll do it with you sitting here right now. Folks, podhome.fm is the most modern and easy to use podcast hosting platform. Use it to publish your episodes, enhance your audio, automatically generate transcripts, chapters, titles, show notes, and more. And you can even podcast live. And something that we didn't mention is that, if you are a podcaster, it's very important that you have a website. And you might not be ready to set up a website, but Podhome provides that for you. You could set up a website under the Podhome. What do they call that? The sub something or other.
Just a website. So for every show, we just automatically generate a website. You can change some things like the colors and stuff, and you can also hook up your own custom domain to it, so that it's really your website, and you don't have to do anything. All your episodes come on there automatically. It just works. Is
it a subdomain though? That's the word I was looking for, a subdomain. So it would be like podhome.fm/.
No, it can be anything, whatever you want.
You see, there you go. Yeah. Everything that you need in one place for one affordable subscription of $15.99 a month, just $15.99 a month. And you heard me say it before, I'll say it again. And it's not just because Barry's here. It's a great platform to be on. I love being part of Podhome's family. And I'm telling you, you're going to pay 3 times as much in most other big name podcast hosting platforms than you are at Podhome, and you're going to get less than what you're going to get at Podhome. So head over to Podhome, sign up today, get 30 days free to play with it. Guarantee you're going to stay with it, and then $15.99 a month after that. So podhome.fm up there on the screen. Make sure you check it out. All right, Barry.
Excellent.
Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate you. I'll let you know when all this stuff is available on the audio to download, so you can spread the joy, spread the love. All right, Barry. Thank you so much. All the best to you. I'll talk to you in a bit.
Thank you, Barry.
All right, Barry Luijbregts. Folks, don't forget to head over to our website, joerooz.com. And when you get over there, make sure you sign up for the programming announcements email list that we have. A little pop-up is going to show up there on your screen. Just sign up and get yourself in the know. It's cheap. It means it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. We don't sell your information. We don't share your information. We're not going to spam you. We're not going to send you a bunch of things you're not interested in. We're not going to try to sell you methylene blue. We're not going to try to sell you anything. All we're going to do is send you information about upcoming shows, guests, and whatnot. So check it out. Absolutely free. Sign up for it. Stay in the know. The best way for us to reach you is by email. All right. Also, don't forget to pay a visit to our donation page, or our support page, rather, and check us out there. And if you'd like to help us out, again, this is a value for value show. So, again, all that basically means is that if you receive anything of value from what we're putting out here, we're asking you to return that value in the form of a donation. Now, we have several ways you can help us out. You can help us out by a one-time donation of any amount. You can do a monthly recurring donation in any amount, or you can sign up for one of our tiers, our producer tiers. So we have our associate producer tier is $17.76 a month. Our producer tier is $18.36 a month. And executive producer is $25 a month and more. Now, all of the producers get the same benefit. You get the shout out on every show. You get included in all the show notes, all the emails, everything that goes out. Why? Because your donation helps us to produce the show. All right. So and your donation can be your time, your talent, your treasure, like we said earlier. So sign up, help us out, help keep this whole mess that we have going here going. All right. Also, if you want to help us out with cryptos, all of our crypto wallet information is up on the support page as well. And to our shout outs. Shout outs to our executive producers, Wayne Rankin, Rosanna Rankin, Carolina Jimenez, and Marissa Lee. And to our producer, the inestimable Anonymous Angela. Thank you guys so much for all that you do. Really do appreciate everything. Your time, your talent, your treasure. It's huge to help keep us going here. So thank you so very much for that. All right. Now we also have folks that stream sats to us across the modern podcast apps. You can check those out at modernpodcastapps.com and podcastindex.org. Great apps, Podcast Guru, Fountain.fm, True Fans, not only fans, TrueFans.fm, and Podverse, Pocket Cast, you name it, it's there. Check them out. Oh, by the way, great little app called CurioCaster, located right here in the state of Texas. Check them out. It's a nice little platform, easy to use interface. I've been playing around with that one a little bit lately. Really nice. You'll like it. Check it out. CurioCaster, great app. All right, folks, I think that should do it for us for tonight. So again, thank you for taking the time to be with us this afternoon. See, stuck in their cycle here. All right, don't forget the website, joerooz.com. And listen, folks, let's make Texas independent again. Go podcasting, keep a steady stride, and remember, keep talking. Good night. See you tomorrow.
Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Who cares about the clouds if we're together?
Just sing a song and bring the sunny weather.
Happy trails to you till we meet again.